Welcome to the Photo Report, where we talk to other photographers about how they run their business, how they balance their lives, and how they stay inspired. I'm Braden Flynn, your host, and had the chance to be out at Field Trip, which is an amazing conference where you're challenged, you're inspired, you get to hang out with amazing people, and it's just a blast. I spoke out there, but then also had the chance to just talk with a couple other photographers that are friends of mine, and hope you love what they had to say. This interview is with Andrew Barefoot, who is co-founder of the Cana Family creative agency. They do amazing videos. His other partner, Ben, was out free diving, I think, when we did this interview. But their work's incredible. He's a great dude, and I hope you love this.
I'm Andrew Barefoot.
Yes.
I am an owner of a creative agency called the Cana Family. And I am also a musician and a husband and a skateboarder and a beer drinker. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. How your ribs doing?
They hurt really bad. Actually, maybe yesterday you might have knocked my rib back into place, because this morning I felt a lot better than yesterday, surprisingly.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So can you just go back through it, ultimately how you got it, your background, were you a pro skater?
No, I was almost.
Okay.
I was trying to be.
Yeah.
That was my life dream.
Yeah.
Silly as it is.
Yeah.
I was sponsored
What
and
kid
doing all
doesn't
that.
want to be, literally every kid who's a skater or a surfer or a snowboarder, that is their ultimate dream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And you want to I don't know, be hanging out with the people you watch in videos.
Yeah.
And I was getting up there, and then I had some major injuries that kind of put me out for a while. A lot of major injuries. I had a head injury, or I lost a pint of blood, broke my arm, totally shattered my arm, and then shards of my bone came out, and I had to get crazy surgery. I tore my Achilles tendon, which is not that cool.
No.
The Achilles tendon was the worst, probably. But so along that whole journey of trying to do skating, I had been shooting a lot of Super 8, just when we were on tour, and just around with my friends, and video on little handy, back then it was just handy cams with those high 8 tapes, and everything was super ghetto. But
so while you were doing stuff with,
Mm-hmm.
I always think how easy it would be if you're in a band to then just shoot when you're on tour. You're obviously going to have access to the best stuff, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. And people feel comfortable with you if you're in it with them, you know. Yeah.
Amazing. So going from is that sort of what sparked your interest in video? How did you go from that to then starting your video company? How did you meet Ben? Ben is his partner.
Yeah. Ben's my business partner. Business partner. Yep. So around the time that I got really injured, I got married, and my wife and I were having long talks about what do you want to do with your life? Is this really a good life decision? Skating and playing in a band. Two things that you can never make any money at unless you sell your soul to the Illuminati or something.
Right.
And so then I started talking about doing video stuff, because I've been making tons of skate videos, and actually I was selling. I was in this crew of guys, and we were selling our little VHSs to people, and they're terrible. But
were you shooting VHSs of other people skating, and then you would say, hey, listen, I've got you on tape, would you sell it? Where would you buy it?
It was our little group we had. Yeah. We tried to make a video of our crew.
Okay.
And so I was filming a lot of that, and I just kind of fell in love with filming. And then around when I got married, I had an opportunity to go to Uganda and work with a nonprofit organization, and that was the deal breaker for me, where I was this is, or I guess deal maker, not breaker. I was this is what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
I made a 5-minute documentary thing on this trip I went on, and they came back and they showed it at this fundraising thing, and they raised $100,000. and it was the first time I saw what film could do, like a real impact, a lasting impact of, you know, like film. Like photos, I don't think photos would have done it.
Right.
And so then I got a job basically working with them, and I went back to Africa a couple times, and Peru, and all over the place. And then that eventually led to me meeting Ben. Ben had a successful video company in town doing weddings, and he was burnt out and closing his doors.
Really?
Yeah, he wanted to shut down. He was
what year?
This is 2007.
Okay.
And so a friend of ours, like a mutual friend, told him he should call me, and we connected, and I was like, why do you want to quit? You have, like, in our small town, he had like the most, our community, he had like the most well-known brand. And he explained to me that he just hated the way wedding videos looked, and there was no camera out really, or there was nothing accessible to make what he wanted to make. And I was like, what if we just start over and we try to, you know, find other ways, and instead of making a video that you hate, let's try to just make something that we like and start fresh. And that was right when the 5D Mark II was coming out. So I was like, perfect time, let's sell everything we have and get 2 of those and a couple lenses. And I was doing weddings here and there, but it wasn't my main thing. And
right.
After doing a few with him, it was like, I just fell in love with it. It was fun.
Yeah. So that was 2007, and so you guys, what was it like sort of shifting, because he was sort of felt stale with what he was doing? Like, what do you feel like you brought, or what changed to make things be like just more like life-giving in the sense of like what you're doing?
Yeah.
Because it, like so many talks that we've heard here at Field Trip, there's been this basis of like, if you're just copying someone else and doing that, you know, it's like you're going to get burnt out, because like it's not a reflection of you, and not a reflection of like your desires or like things that like you're proud of, you know. So like, how do you feel like you guys allowed that to happen, or you maybe helped Ben get there, or that shift?
It was kind of a mixture of, Ben is a crazy dreamer. Yeah. And he had all these wild ideas, but it was hard for him to execute them. Yeah. And I'm more of like a creative, and so I had a lot of like creative ideas, and thanks. No, and yeah, he liked the idea of doing a same-day edit at a wedding. Okay. And at the time, that was impossible because everyone recorded on tapes before DSLRs. Yeah. But he was determined, so he bought a hard drive and Velcroed it to his camera, and was real-time like dumping footage onto the hard drive while he was recording during the day, and then editing on his super old Mac laptop during dinner, and put up a movie that was only like 2 minutes long, but people were blown away. Right. And it just caught on, and from there, I was like, yeah, let's try more stuff. And we met with a friend of ours, well, everybody probably knows who he is, Jose Villa. He was one of the first weddings we shot. I didn't know who Jose Villa was. I don't know anything about wedding photography. And he was just really encouraging. He was asking us, why are we doing this? Why are you giving people something that at the time we didn't really like? And he just said, what's the best thing that you guys do? And so we explained to him short, like really beautiful 5-minute wedding video. And he was like, scratch everything and do that. And so that's kind of what we did. We did no long wedding videos. We just started doing these short 5-minute things, and it was like revitalizing our souls, and we started only showing off the weddings that we really liked, and then that attracted people that liked the stuff we liked, and it started this snowball effect, you know?
Yeah. We talk about basically, I think partnership is important.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yes.
I'm in a place in my business where like I'm just so sick of doing everything myself. Except when the water's shading my face.
Right.
I'm so sick of doing everything myself. You know, and it would be I was encouraging people in the class that I was teaching. Like, if you're sort of at a beginning stage, like find someone who either like has a similar vision to you or maybe like opposite strengths as you. Partner with them. Like how much more fun is that doing business with someone else that is going to bring something to the table, so it's not all resting on your shoulders. It's a lot of weight. Like when in the beginning, I feel like it's fun to like, oh, I'm getting jobs, like yes, you know. But then at the same time, like when you're sort of in it, it's a really lonely place to always be in your head and feeling like either what I'm doing is not good enough or like I feel stuck or I feel this. But like talk about sort of from your obviously at a certain point it becomes like a marriage, but can you talk sort of about that relationship?
Yeah, it's funny, we kind of compare it to marriage a lot because it's, you know, when you partner your life with someone and, you know, you stop doing whatever job you're doing and you're just in it, you're in it with this one person, it's such a different relationship than having an employee who works for you, because it's like if he loses, I lose, and vice versa. And so the more that we both put in, the better that the thing does. And for me, I hate shooting weddings by myself because there's so many funny little things that happen, and just it's so boring sometimes to not be able to talk to someone. And that was huge. Like, we just started having a lot more fun together at weddings. And then from the work aspect, having someone who refines each other, because you know, two sets of eyes are better than one most of the time. And so there'd be times where I would make a movie and I'd have shots that were just cut too quick or something, and then, you know, he watches it and he goes, oh, these shots are too quick, and I didn't even notice it. And it's just such a better refining process. But yeah, there's no way I could do it. I wouldn't do it without having a business partner. It's been a game changer for sure.
Within those roles, like within that partnership, how do you actually, I'm sure at a certain point you guys just sort of started doing it, but have you guys sat down and really like sort of defined roles? Like, what role do you play? What role does he play? Like, that's obviously on a wedding shot, someone's doing the edit while someone's shooting. I've worked with these guys and they're amazing to work with. So fun. I mean, we have
so
fun.
Far before we have our first breakup.
Yeah. But like what are the roles, and how did you guys get to the place of sort of defining the roles that you each play?
We both have different strengths, and Ben is a lot more of a go-getter with filming. He likes to get right in on people. He doesn't care that people are, you know, watching him or maybe slightly uncomfortable. He just goes for it. And so he kind of took the lead on a lot of the main shooting, and then he also is really good with emails. I hate emails. I can barely respond to text messages. I love good old-fashioned phone calls.
Yeah.
And so I score most of the weddings myself. Like, I write the music for the couples, and so I have that thing to add. And then I do a lot more of the creative, making film burns and trying to, you know, get new looks in the cameras, and I don't know, really trying to like hone in on the fine details. And so we both edit and we both shoot, but we have our strengths, you know.
Yeah.
But we did kind of define it at some point. I think I was like, can you do emails? I can't do it. And he's like, yeah. And then, yeah, it's such a give and take. I've realized that if you get hung up on some tiny detail, it's not worth going to battle usually about with something that, like, oh, well, he edited 2 more weddings than I did, and you just have to roll with it.
Never
yeah.
In anything, like if you do that in your marriage,
yeah.
if you do that in your business,
yeah.
to your business partner, your other wife.
Yeah, then it just goes downhill from there.
So, I mean, with the place that you guys are in, where you've been established, and you obviously have to get to a point where you're excited, and then you start running a business. and then you're at the stage like, okay, you guys, I travel a lot. We have a lot of editing. It's like, it's now like something where it's like, we've made it, which you're probably not even saying in your own head, but like you have made it, and we now have a company. So how do you, in that place, instead of having the perspective of like, okay, like it's a grind, I'm burnt out, whatever, do you guys have any things that you remind yourselves of, or like how do you sort of stay fresh and creative and not feel burnt out?
For us both, we just love to get out in nature and camp and get away. I think just silence and like doing the things we love to do, we come back a little more filled up. And then we both shoot other things aside from weddings and commercials that, you know, Ben, people might not know, but maybe they do, but he's super into hunting and like outdoors. So he spent a lot of the month of November, you know, even though he had a bunch of stuff to edit, he just went on these amazing outdoor trips filming for different outdoor companies. And a lot of it was just for fun. He loved it. And so those kind of things, they kind of fill you back up. Because something that I always keep in mind, like I heard someone, I don't know where, at one point was telling me that if you do something without getting paid, and then when you're getting paid, you're still doing it, don't forget that you were doing it when you weren't getting paid. And that, I always think about that because I've been doing this forever, and a lot of times not making any money and going on trips, not getting paid, and just doing stuff for fun. And so that kind of stuff keeps me refreshed, I guess.
Yeah, man. Personal projects are so key.
Yeah.
My next question was going to be like, are you guys still doing personal projects?
Right.
Because it is, to a degree, it's life-giving.
Yeah, it is.
Because if you are like, one of the things I was teaching in my class was sort of the why behind what you do. But it's like, listen, like some people were saying like, I shoot this, I don't know if I really like shooting this, but it's like paying my bills. And I was like, keep shooting that. Because that is paying your bills. But take the perspective like, hey, this is paying my bills, and I can go and like, now I can do I can shoot something for free that I want to shoot. And then hopefully it gets to the point where then you start getting known for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, be grateful. That's something I have to remind myself of, is it's the perspective of like celebrating little successes, which is really difficult for me. But it's being able to say like, listen, like this is great, you know, or like I'm doing good. It's really hard for me to say, but and this is allowing me to do that, you know. And what is that for you is a big question. You know, for me, it's like I'm able to like drive my kid to school, pick him up from school, come home and have lunch with my family. You know, those sort of things. It's phenomenal when you look at it, but when you're so stuck in your grind, it's easy to forget that stuff.
Yeah, for me personally too, like music is a huge part of my life, and it's kind of my like release, and whatever is going on in my head comes out in my music. And so if I'm bored with shooting weddings, like nothing good comes out. I write shitty music.
Yeah.
And so I have to like constantly be doing things that feed my soul. And even like, you know, skateboarding, I'll go to the skate park, and all my old friends, they don't even know half of what I do. And so they you know, the typical woe for me now is like, oh, I'm so tired from traveling. Like you always hear people saying like, oh, I'm so exhausted. And my friends just give me the big old, you know, fuck you, because they're working these 9-to-5 jobs, and
I'm so sorry you just got back from Saudi Arabia.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, like last week they were like, where have you been? I was like, I was in Saudi Arabia for a little bit. And they're just like, what? And they don't even think, they're just like, all right. And they just keep skating. And it's nice to get away from, I personally have to get away from the whole wedding world pretty often, because it can be overwhelming. And especially like with people comparing themselves to other people, it's like, I know that some people thrive off of seeing other people's work, but for me, it almost does me a better service to stay out of it and do what I like, and then hopefully I'm not copying everybody else. But everybody's copying everybody else, because it's such a niche thing, you know.
Good old Solomon. There's nothing new
Yeah,
under the sun.
nothing new under the sun. Yeah.
It's really not, except for they didn't have cars back then.
Yeah.
That's
It's definitely new. Since their time.
well, thanks so much, man. Just wanted to wrap up with you because I love what you guys do. I think you're a good soul, and then you do great work. So,
Oh, thanks.
buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.